Here today to talk about programs for agricultural producers in the Natchog watershed is Bill Purcell from the Natural Resources Conservation Service. Bill, why don't you introduce yourself?
Thank you, Jane. My name's Bill Purcell. I'm a district conservationist for NRCS in Windham County, Connecticut. We have many programs to discuss with agriculture producers, and I'm here to talk about them and also introduce my agency in case you don't know who we are. NRCS is an agency within the Department of Agriculture that works hand in hand with private landowners and operators through voluntary conservation to promote productive and sustainable lands. We have 5 service centers in a state office, and here's a map with the five field offices and our state office in Tollins. And we have soil conservationist engineers, technicians, and assistants, program assistants to help us. And we're co-located with the Farm Service Agency, and a few of our offices are co-located with the USDA Rural Development Agency as well. So you can see in the Natchog River watershed, it covers Windham and Tolland counties. So that would be covered by our Hartford, our Windsor office, and the Danielson office. NRCS, we provide 2 different types of assistance to producers. The first type of assistance we provide is technical assistance or planning assistance to landowners or operators who would like to make conservation improvements on their lands. The other type of assistance that we offer, and is the most sought after, is the financial assistance programs that we offer. Through program contracts to eligible producers who wish to apply for financial support, they can implement practices through the NRCS planning process. In the 2018 Farm Bill, the Farm Bill language changed and allowed the NRCS state conservationists and the state technical committee to identify priority source water protection areas in each of the states, and allowed them to select practices that will be eligible for a higher payment rate or increased payment rate than normal. The Natchog River watershed has been identified as a source water protection area here in Connecticut. And many of the agronomic practices that we're going to talk about today have been selected to receive a higher payment rate. So that's awesome for the farmers who are interested in adopting these practices. The first thing I want to talk about quickly is soil health. The definition is the continued capacity of a soil to function as a vital living ecosystem that sustains plants, animals, and humans, and animals. Soil health encompasses nutrient recycling, water infiltration and availability, filtering and buffering, physical stability and support, and habitat for biodiversity inside the soil. 90% of the soil is mediated by soil microbes. So why should a farmer switch to no-till and adopt cover crops or diverse cover crops? There's economic savings. When you're not harrowing the fields 3-4 times before you plant the corn, you're saving a lot of diesel fuel. When you don't till the soil, you improve soil structure and you're reducing soil compaction. Many farmers throughout the country are plagued with having soil compaction issues, and that affects their roots' ability to go deeper and to be able to find the nutrients and the water that they need. Roots in no-till soils help make wet fields more operable quicker than tilled fields. You can see a picture here below. There's a tractor pulling a cultivator that got buried in a tilled field because there's no soil roots to hold it up. And when it's wet out, the tractor just sunk. No-till soils hold water and nutrients longer than tilled soils do. So in a drought year like this, it was nice to have crops in no-till fields because they helped hold the moisture in the soil longer, and that allowed the plants to have more available moisture to grow versus the tilled fields that didn't have that. Soil erosion and runoff reduction also are reduced by switching to no-till and using diverse cover crops. And one of the provisions that USDA has is the highly erodible lands and wetland conservation compliance. And so some farmers that have steep fields that practice tillage have problems or issues with getting their operations in compliance with the USDA Food Security Act. So by switching to no-till and adopting cover crops or diverse cover crops, that will reduce the soil erosion and and it could help them be compliant where they might not be compliant before. And another thing with another benefit for cover crops and diverse cover crops is if you use a legume cover crop like hairy vetch or clover or some other species like that, the crops fix nitrogen, and those are going to be available when that residue breaks down. That nitrogen is then going to be available to the soil and it'll be available to your future crop. So that'll help reduce the nitrogen purchase costs that you have to occur every year. So NRCS, we help provide financial assistance for no-till and cover crops. Here's a picture of a no-till field, no-till corn. And then on the right, it's a picture of a diverse cover crop with some hairy vetch and rye. NRCS, we can provide 3 years of incentive payments to farmers to adopt no-till and cover crops. So that might help you help justify the extra expense of buying a new corn planter that's capable of doing no-till or modifying your corn planter. The goal of our program is to help encourage you to make the leap to switch over to no-till. Another couple practices that NRCS offers is manure storage and composting. Here's a picture, on top is a picture of a little compost facility we built. And then below is a waste storage facility we built for a beef farm up in Woodstock. And when we construct a liquid tight waste storage facility or a compost facility, it allows the manure and the nutrients to be stored inside it. And then the farmer can directly apply those nutrients to the field when the crops need it, and instead of applying it year round and the rain leaching it away. This will reduce the need to purchase fertilizer, and it helps keep the nutrients out of the watershed. You can see in that picture below of the waste storage facility there that, liquid does leach out of even beef manure. So we like to cover it because we reduce the rain, and so the farmers don't have to deal with all the rain that we get in a normal year. So this is something else NRCS we can help offer to help farmers. Another practice NRCS helps with is fence. We can help provide financial assistance to exclude livestock from a water body, or we can help implement a prescribed grazing system as seen below. This was a dairy farm that grew a lot of corn, and we seeded down the cornfields and put in a prescribed grazing system. We seeded the fields down, installed fence, installed this gravel access road so the cows could walk to and from the farm. And this really improved. There's a lot of environmental benefits, and the farmer's just tickled pink with how it changed his operation, and he's so much happier with it. Some other practices that NRCS offers is high tunnels, irrigation systems. We help install brand new irrigation systems, or we'll help if a farm has an older, maybe inefficient irrigation system, like they use sprinklers or some other system, we can help with an irrigation system to reduce water consumption. And another practice we offer is energy improvement in greenhouses. We can help reduce the amount of emissions and fossil fuels that are used to heat the greenhouses in the wintertime. NRCS, we also do forestry projects, wildlife projects. We like to create pollinator habitat where we make sure there's 3 flower species in the spring, summer, and fall bloom periods. So there's a constant food source for the pollinators throughout the growing season. In the spring and the fall, there's many plant species that are available to bees and butterflies, but there's not a constant supply throughout the growing season. So we help make sure that there's a constant food source for the bees and the butterflies. But we also do some forestry projects, and we are interested in working with landowners in the watershed, forested landowners in the watershed to do that. And if you have any questions, please contact one of our field offices or visit our website, www.ct.nrcs.usda.gov. Thank you.